So today we have another episode full of news and my reactions to certain story, especially the Britt Baker versus Tony Khan drama as reports came in talking about that Britt Baker may be done with AEW, but then we have other stories, even someone reporting that Britt Baker got cheated on. Nonsense. Also, we have Corey Graves, who returned to NXT after his rant and Twitter, and I will be talking about what I think why he returned to NXT. Also, PCO. When Ballistic got a GCW show last weekend, and TNA was pissed. We're going to be talking about that and much more on your favorite podcast, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, episode 229. And this week, there was news, and a lot of news that we can't really say if it was a makeup stories or people just want to get clicks in their little podcast. The first one that I will be bringing up is the one that was going around for like 2 to 3 days. It was the Britt Baker and the Tony Khan drama. And as you see on my title, the AEW drama, that's what they were calling it. Someone came and reported that Britt Baker was going to be done with AEW because she has not been used. Now, the first thing I saw this, I was like, well, maybe she's rubbing the people in the back in the wrong way. But let's not forget that she made a comment about the Will Ospreay and the MJF match that lasted an hour during the summer. And she made a comment that was all over the internet. You have wrestling, what culture, whatever their name is, started, rubbing people the wrong way by making up stories that, MJF approached Britt Baker and that they had to hold him back. Yada, yada, yada. And of course, we saw Britt Baker had her match against Mercedes Moné, which I will call that a very, very bad match. At first, I thought it was Britt Baker's, Mercedes Moné's fault. But of course, it wasn't Mercedes Moné's fault because then the following Friday, she wrestled Momo Watanabe from New Japan Pro Wrestling, had a great match with her. So I know this was Britt Baker. Now, Britt Baker has been holding it down and AEW since day one. We know that since day one, she was the face of the company because she was a day one person. She had a great matches with Hiroki Shida, which made a shirt of her bleeding through the nose. Her match with Thunder Rosa, which was crazy matches, and I mean it went crazy. I put it was crazy. She was the AEW Women's Champion for a while. But I think that she got to her head. And when it got to her head, when she was dating Adam Cole and they won the Owen Hart tournament, both of them, that they were trying to be the power couple. They were trying to replace Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rose after they left. That's what they were doing. But apparently Adam Cole got hurt. Apparently Britt Baker went through some medical issues, whatever the case may be. And I guess, her match with, Mercedes Moné must have rubbed Tony Khan on the wrong way because then she was supposed to start feuding with Serena Deeb, but during a match she had with Penelope Ford, you actually heard her tell Serena Deeb, "No one cares." So who knows if Tony Khan got pissed off and was like, "Okay, you want to play games? Okay, you're not going to be part of anything." But again, I'm just assuming. I don't know if it's true or not, because then we have reports that, She may be upset because haven't been put in any matches or whatever, but that Tony Khan and her were trying to work things out. The following day, then we get a report that Britt Baker was cheating on Adam Cole. Now, here's the part that I don't understand. Why in the hell are these wrestling fans want to be in these wrestlers' private life? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I look at this and I laugh because I'm like, your job as a fan is to enjoy the wrestling matches and the storylines, not to be all up in freaking wrestlers' ass trying to figure out where they live, what they doing, who they cheating on. This is what most of these podcasters do. They go and report this shit, and you got wrestling fans who be like, "Oh my God, this and this and this and that," and you be like, "What? What are you talking about?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I heard that, that's how I knew that whoever came up with this report about Britt Baker having issues with Tony Khan, 95% of the time, this shit is not true. Okay, because it seems that the thing about it, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to say to myself, you know what? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Why wrestling fans need to be all in, wrestlers' private life. Matthew Rodriguez, thank you for joining us. He's saying our thoughts on Mariah May and Toni Storm segment last night. Listen, I already knew that was going to happen. When Toni Storm came back as the regular, her punk type Toni, I was like, the storyline behind this is she's coming back as, the regular Toni Storm she was before. I already saw that coming. And I mean, she is doing great. Both of these women are doing great storyline. And people talk about AEW doesn't have storylines. You know what I'm saying? They want things to happen right away. But, we'll see what happens as the weeks go by, Matthew. So thank you again for supporting. You know what I'm saying? And now in Australia, it's going to be the second match, of course. But, we'll see. Revolution could be a steel cage match. Never know. Never know. So, but going back to the Britt Baker situation, I think Britt Baker, if she's going to go to WWE, realistic, where she's going to, let's say she does go to WWE. Let's say she leaves AEW and goes to WWE. Where does she fit in that mold? Because right now, as far as WWE is concerned, is Charlotte's coming back. They're already talking about Charlotte winning the Rumble. So if Charlotte comes back, if Britt Baker decides to go into the WWE, she ain't gonna be nowhere near the upper echelon. She's not. She's gonna be probably getting pinned by Mia or whatever, Moochie, whatever her name is, Mia Yim. She's gonna be, matter of fact, Nia Jax's, punching buddy. She's gonna be getting squashed. Because it's going to happen. Now, you're probably going to say, well, what does she fit at AEW? Well, how about her having some type of, feud? Make a feud. Her and Serena Dev, But the thing is that Tony Khan has too many. I think, as far as Tony Khan, because I can't blame everything on Britt Baker. Tony Khan has too many wrestlers. Okay? Too many wrestlers. And once he gets a new toy, he wants to do this, he wants to do that, he wants to move these pieces, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. Like the report that I heard this week from this podcast, it constantly posts like 3 fucking videos to shit on AEW, because that's what he does. They were talking about how Private Party wasn't given enough time to to shine with the AEW Tag Team Champions because they gave it to the Hurt Business. Honestly, what does Private Party has done the last 5 years to better themselves as a tag team in AEW? And I've been following these guys since House of Glory. They haven't. The only reason they give them the belts was because they've been day one guys for the last 5 years in AEW. They're the team that beat the Young Bucks. So the story was the Young Bucks can't beat them because they beat them again for the tag team title. But if you look at the tag team division in AEW, it's not great at all. That used to be the banging promotion with the best tag team. Now it's not. You know what I'm saying? The gun clubs are hurt. You know what I'm saying? The Acclaim broke up, and FTR now is teaming up with Copeland or Cope. The tag team division has become like WWE. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just crazy. I mean, like, Tony Khan is too busy worrying about what he wants to do, what he want to push Will Ospreay, what he's going to push Kenny Omega. He's not giving a rat's ass about the women's division, because if you really think about it, the only ones right now top of the game is Mercedes Moné, Mariah May, and Toni Storm. Those are the three main women in the women's division. So if you look at it, so everything else, he's just playing around with his little toys. And then when he gets tired of the toys, let him go. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the women's division in AEW could do very well. With Mega Rain coming in, or Rain Megan, whatever her name is, that girl looks solid. She was in Stardom. So it could be solid. But for Britt Baker, if she is bitching and moaning about where her spot in the division, well, you're the day one girl. You're supposedly the face of the division. Then, you know what? Stop complaining and do something about it. You know what I'm saying? But instead, you was over here criticizing about how you wasn't giving time and they giving time to MJF and Will Ospreay. You can't put yourself in the echelon of Will Ospreay, MJF, and AEW. You can't. Your time came and left. So if she does leave AEW to go to WWE, she's going to be worse for her. She's going to be much worse for her. So we'll see. So moving along, let's talk about Corey Graves' return to NXT. Now, my thing is that I knew Corey Graves was going to come back. See, he went on a rant on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But this is the funny part, way I look at it. I love how, again, wrestling fans go and talk about AEW, how their wrestlers are pissed off and yada, yada, and they're not doing well. But yet there's other stuff going. And listen, every wrestler who feels, or commentator who feels that they're not getting their first shot at a company, they're going to bitch and moan. The difference is who's reporting it, who's not going to report it. And Corey Graves was pissed off that they moved him from the main roster, from SmackDown to Raw, then from Raw back to SmackDown, and then moved him down to NXT. He felt he got demoted, and he felt that he needed to express his feelings. But WWE probably told him, take down your tweets, or either we're gonna, or we're gonna to suspend you, or we're gonna, terminate you. I mean, I don't see them terminating, because they know if you terminate Corey Graves, this guy got a lot of knowledge. AEW will pick him up. You know that. So they probably tell him, look, we'll give you another chance, but right now we need you in NXT. And honestly, I'd rather have him in NXT than Booker T. I hate Booker T in commentating in NXT. I don't like it at all. You know what I'm saying? He's a WWE shield. You know what I'm saying? He talks too much, and I don't care for him. I'd rather have Corey Graves, who got a lot of knowledge in the business. He's a very good commentator and brings a lot of excitement to the matches. You know what I'm saying? So I understand him being pissed off about, being moved from the main roster to NXT, and I mean, everybody was going crazy because, I mean, he said he was going to speak up on NXT 2 weeks ago, but he never showed up. So I guess the only way I can see it is either they pretty much told him, keep yourself quiet, do your job and whatnot, and, we'll compensate you down the line. I mean, why didn't he stand, put it this way, why didn't he, stood up for what he said on his tweets? You know what I'm saying? Because he needs the money. Everybody needs the money. They don't want to lose the job. I guarantee you that WWE probably threatened him. You know what I'm saying? With suspension or some type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want, that's bad. That's PR, bad PR for them. You know what I'm saying? They remember, if you look at the social media, it's always people want to put that WWE is a family, everything is good, everything is great, Triple H and Shawn Michaels is cooking, blah, 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 to make it look like everybody's happy, which is not true. Because in the back locker rooms, a lot of things don't go smoothly. You have egos, you have people pissed off, people feel like they're not getting their share of spotlight, they're not getting time on TV, and it goes with the commentators. This is commentators. It wasn't wrestlers now. This was commentating. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, WWE is seen all over the world, and Corey Graves, he's been the main guy, mostly probably on Raw, sometimes SmackDown, and everybody knows who Corey Graves is. Yes, he was a wrestler. He stopped wrestling, but he's well known as a commentator. And not for you to shove him down to NXT for whatever reason to have a 3-man. I don't understand how you got a 3-man crew on NXT, but you got a 2-man crew on the main rosters. You know what I'm saying? I will get rid of Booker T, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Send him somewhere. I don't know where, but you know what I'm saying? He's I don't understand. I don't know what's the deal with that at NXT. I don't know if they're going to do something about it, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So everything got fixed, I guess, this week because he returned to NXT. And I guess it is what it is. And it'll be until somebody else start complaining about something else. And, it is what it is. Another topic coming up now is the TNA and the PCO situation. Most of you probably heard that last weekend, PCO went to a GCW event. I think he had just wrestled and did a promo, but it was really a shoot, and took the Digital Media Championship, which was a replica, it wasn't the real one, and put it on top of a chair and smashed it with a sledgehammer. Everybody thought that this was part of a storyline that TNA and PCO had. But apparently, PCO went for himself as far as working for himself and started trashing TNA. And you really could see the ring announcer trying to take the mic away from PCO. PCO, at one point, you heard him said, TNA, they know that I was the one who sold the most merchandise, blase, and this and that. Now, this is not surprising when it comes to TNA. A couple of years ago, okay, Ethan Page left TNA. And he left TNA, and the way TNA let him go, that his last match was a stupid gimmick of him being some karate guy. And then did some film and whatnot, which when Ethan Page left TNA, he was like, this was the most dumbest thing that I ever been involved with a wrestling company. TNA, right now with this whole thing with the PCO, whatever, you can't get mad at PCO because promises were made to PCO. Now, granted that Scott D'Amore is not there anymore, but Anthem has the bad habit of not paying their wrestlers. I keep saying that. I've been saying that for years. Anthem is cheap. Okay. Think about how many wrestlers has left because they felt that they needed to not pay the wrestlers because, we're doing cut costs, whatever. How can you have cut costs when you just right now have a partnership with WWE? Now, I just saw Genesis and the production. The production looks way better than it was before they had their partnership with WWE. So basically, WWE is helping them with the production and whatnot. And now you got Jordan Grace leaving to WWE. Right now, we saw that probably, Josh Alexander may be next, even though he showed up at this week's taping and whatnot. But you could tell that TNA is in deep, deep trouble. Now, you may be asking how they're in deep trouble. Well, think about it. First of all, TNA, who watches TNA? Unless you got Access Channel, and most people in the country don't have that, you won't be able to see TNA or Access or TNA Plus. Who's paying TNA Plus? No one. Okay. And second of all, if you think about it, you could tell that this partnership is going to end up like Evolve. Back in 2015, Evolve joined with WWE, and by 2019, 2020, Austin Theory was the main guy in there who was a big time wrestler back then, 21 years old at that time. And I said it. Austin Theory was going to be the future. And Sure, no, Austin Theory ended up in WWE, became United States champion, tag team champion. But what I'm trying to say is that TNA right now, you could tell that TNA is about to get swallowed up by WWE. It's just a matter of time. There was a report that was coming in from 0-360. Mentioned them because they're good. They do good reporting. 0-360 claimed that there's a possibility that WWE might buy TNA. Now, a lot of people say, well, why would TKO buy another thing? You keep forgetting that TKO owns 51% of WWE. The other 49%, I don't know who owns the other 49%, but you don't know if Triple H decides I'm buying TNA. Okay? Just to do the same thing that AEW did by buying Ring of Honor. Okay? I can see that happening. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to try to build a roster. So now think about it. They'll have NXT and TNA, and they could build those rosters. You got people coming in and out. Now, my question is, you know what I'm saying, that WWE right now is trying to swallow everything up. Now, they got this WWE ID, which they just go and pick up wrestlers from the indies. Now, I saw some podcast, his title was that Tony Khan is destroying the indies. I had to laugh because it sounded like he's promoting WWE ID. So, but the way I see it, I won't be surprised if WWE buys TNA. I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for like a year in my podcast. They could go and buy TNA. Because TNA right now, nobody really watches that. Their debut in Sportsnet in Canada was 36,000 views. 36,000. Okay? And listen, I'm not surprised. They keep losing, wrestlers all back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Now they just made Joe Henry their world champion. My thing is, you gave Joe Henry about 5 world title shots before he finally became world champion. So what happens to Nick Nemeth now? You know what I'm saying? Even though I think Nick Nemeth signed another year with TNA, I'm not sure. But now what? So we got to see what happens. The fact that PCO went and crashed, destroyed the replica digital media title, and they were pissed off at him. Why are you pissed off at him? You didn't sign him. You didn't sign him. He went and grabbed a replica and showed the world how he felt about TNA. TNA acting like they do well for their wrestlers. No, they haven't. They haven't been doing well for their wrestlers for years. It started off with Karrion Kross when he was known as Killer Kross. They didn't want to sign him. They had him. They told him to go get indies because they didn't want to give him money, and he left. Even though Karrion Kross right now is in WWE, hasn't done shit in the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? The only title he's won there, it was the NXT title. And even then when he came up, he got pinned by Jeff Hardy while he was NXT champion. So you tell me. So that is it for me today, guys. Again, if you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe to the channel. I'm here every Sunday around this time live. And if you enjoyed this, I appreciate it. Also, check out the podcast store, which is tcwr.veryinimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryinimpressive.com and whatnot. And we have hoods, shirts, hats, anything you want. We got three different shirts in that website, so you can check it out. Support the podcast. I will appreciate it. Also, you gotta want to follow me on social media: Facebook, Instagram, the X, Twitter, YouTube channel. Follow me. I will really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 400 subscribers. That's 400. We need 3 more. Whoever's listening to the sound of my voice right now, subscribe, share it with your friends, let them know it's Chokeslam Wrestling Report and whatnot. So we're here on Sunday. Also, I'll be coming in from time to time. Whenever there's a breaking news, I'll come in, do a live video and just discuss whatever it is. But wrestling right now, we're only in January. We already been seeing too much drama going on and whatnot. So let me know what you think about this Britt Baker situation with Tony Khan. I think she's going to stay around. I don't know how much they're going to use her. But like I said, she goes to WWE. It's going to be the same thing. Nothing's going to change. Corey Graves returning to NXT. Let me know what you think about that. Also, let me know what you think about this TNA versus PCO. Where PCO is going to land. I mean, the guy, so 54, 55 years old, whatever he is. I don't think his wrestling days are almost over. So he'll probably pop up in GCW. So we'll see about that. Until then, guys, continue to support the podcast and whatnot. And I will definitely see you guys next week.